Check out my upcoming interview. My name is Yonrico Scott.
Hello, we're down here at the 5 spot with Yonrico Scott, and we're getting ready just to have a little quick interview.
And this is Bob's Music Connection. We're starting a brand new thing.
Yep.
So we're just sitting down here chilling before New Year's gets started. Enrico, give the folks here just a little bit of your background as far as you've been playing with Derek Trucks for what, 16 years?
16 years. Before that, I did Peabo Bryson, Whitney Houston, Stevie Wonder, Freddie Hubbard.
Few unknowns.
Yeah. And then I've been a local guy in Atlanta.
Right.
I played locally. I did theater. Five Guys Named Mo, Dream Girls, The Wiz.
Right.
Les Miserables, a few plays on a Broadway level, and I've been been living in Atlanta for 30 years. Playing, doing a jingle scene, back when there were jingles to do.
Right.
And just, bebopping around.
Right.
And like I said, been with Derek for 16 years. We have 8 records out, and we just, the last record was already free, was just nominated for a Grammy.
All right, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We're very excited about that.
All right.
So and I also played with legendary historic and guitar player Earl Klug.
Yes. I was going to be asking you about him in a little bit.
Right.
Now, let me ask you. This goes back to some of the back in the day, and one of the things that's nice about the way we're doing these interviews, like people walking in, we don't care about that. This is just people's front rooms, and
This is real.
This is the real deal. And growing up though, what were the early influences for you, drummer wise?
Well, I'm from Detroit, so there was a lot of influences. One of my teachers was Roy Burns.
Right.
And also, I had a teacher, Dave Davenport.
Okay.
And, guys who were playing in the Motown scene, Pistol
Right.
Pete.
Right.
This kind of led me, and my mom was a gospel singer, so it was always music around.
And what about like drummers like Max Roach?
Oh yeah, well later when I actually got in high school, Max Roach, Art Blakey. There was a club in Detroit called Baker's Keyboard Lounge.
Okay.
And my mom would take me there every week, and I heard Elvin Jones and Tootie Heath.
Right.
Wow, what is that? All these guys, and so I really started listening to jazz at a pretty early age, and then when I went to college, I really got it. Impregnated.
Right. Now, and I want to do this in kind of a couple-part question, but back in the day, who was your earliest influences, and then let's say midway through your career, and then who are you listening to now? Who's impacting you now?
Probably in the early days, my biggest influence was some of the funk drummers like Bernard Purdy, who is now my friend, because...
Now, he's living here down in Atlanta, right?
Well, he stays here a lot.
Okay.
But I think he lives in New York.
He's still in New
actually
York, okay.
doing hair on Broadway. He's actually the music director and everything. And then that was like in the very beginning because, my mom, she took me out to hear, Aretha. We actually went to her church.
Right.
Her dad was a minister at WCL Franklin. And we would hear her early, so I kind of got into that. And then in the middle days, it was a really renowned jazz drummer who was on a level with Max Roach and Tony Williams and Philly Joe Jones, was a guy named Roy Brooks.
Okay.
And he ended up being one of my private instructors.
Alrighty.
Like through my senior years in high school.
Right.
And then later, I just got in. It was kind of the beginning. Like I went to college in 72, 73, and that was the beginning of the jazz rock thing.
Okay.
And I really got into Tony Williams, and of course Billy Cobham. The latter part of high school, I got into him. And Alfonso Mouzon.
Right.
Weather Report.
Right.
All the different reincarnations of that group.
Alex Acuna.
Alex Acuna. Who I played with.
Right.
Since I've gotten older. So,
right.
Man. Back in that day, it was just a lot of stuff to gravitate to. And then towards like, when I really got into jazz, I started really studying and interpreting Max Roach, Art Blakey, like I say, Philly Joe Jones, and then big band guys like, you know, of course, Buddy Rich, the greatest big band drummer, and then Mel Lewis, you know, from Thad Jones, Mel Lewis, and you know, Joe Jones.
Right.
And, you know, I did a couple of gigs when I was in college with the Rose on Rolling Curve, you know, so I got a chance to hear a lot of stuff early.
Okay, now, like within the last year or so, what drummers are you catching, or who's having an impact on you, or are there ones?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of new guys, but you know, I'm still kind of, you know, still grooving on the old guys.
Okay.
I kind of, you know, I still kind of go back to that, you know, but there's a lot of new, you know, like Zigaboo, you know, he's an old new guy.
Right,
and there's another guy, Russell Baptiste. I'm kind of funking a lot lately.
Right.
You know?
Now, that leads me to a question of, you know, like some of these young cats that may be checking this interview with you out. What would be your advice to them as far as seeking out an instructor, or how would you advise them to go after it?
Well, you know, I think my biggest recommendation is, you know, I'm a stickler about, you know, the improvisatory side, but I'm also a stickler about the technical side too. You know, understanding, you know, where it came from.
Right.
You know, like a horn player, will learn scales. You know, a drummer needs to learn rudiments.
Right.
And not only learn the technical thing about drums, but actually learn stuff about music and music history.
Right.
Like really go through it. You know, and with media today, you know, with the way the internet, you know, there's so many other ways of studying this stuff. There's so many ways to go to get to grab this information. So I would say, you know, learn it the right way first.
Right.
And, you know, and have fun, jam, and do all that other stuff. But also learn the technical stuff. Learn how to read.
Right.
You know, even if it's, you know, even if you're not a great sight reader, but be able to get your way through a chart. You know?
Right. Now, yeah, as everybody back in the day and going through it, you know, anyone I've talked with, and just in my own personal life, you know, there's certain life-changing events that had, you know, spun my life in a different direction. Do you have any of those key events that you would care to share about that impacted the direction of your life and how you're taking things?
Well, I've had a few.
Okay. We'll do one or two of them.
Oh yeah, well, of course, you know, going to college and, you know, doing you know, some of the easy things like doing a senior recital. And, you know, you have to, you know, for me it was challenging, you know, musically, because, you know, I have to work up mallets. Back in the day when I went to school, you didn't just play drum sets, you played percussion. Right. You know, so you studied timpani, you studied all that. That was a turning point. Okay. Because I really had to really understand, you know, how to read melodically, and not just melodically, but rhythmically. You know, be a drummer, but be a total musician. That was a turning point as being a musician. Right. A couple of turning points in my life, of course, having my kids. Right. You know, who are now 24 and 23. Okay. That was a big one. Another one is I had a health issue a while ago that kind of turned the corner. Okay. And that's even reaction to name my record, because that was a big turning point in my life. You know? Right. You know, and you know, and funny enough, not just to say this, but because I'm in, you know, I'm kind of presently in the band, but even playing with a guy like Derek Trucks was a big turning point, because, you know, after I had been around a while, you know, I thought you kind of seen a few things. Then I played with this young cat, and you know, this opened all these other doors, you know. Because we went back, you know, we went back to the roots. You know, we got in the van, did the country for 3 years. Right. You know, hit nooks and crannies that other places just don't hit. And was able to experiment, and I was instrumental in this young guy hearing all this music for the first time. So it's like I heard it for the first time again. Right. So it's like seeing through new eyes again. Right. Fresh eyes, you know. So, you know, and, you know, and learning something about, you know, another form of artistic integrity, you know. Where, you know, where we, you know, that band is really, you know, about the art as opposed to, you know, doing other things, you know, to maybe be a pop success. We were really trying to be artistic. This is Yonrico Scott, Mace Hibbert, and Joseph Patrick Moore, and you are listening to Bob's Music Connection. Peace.